Nigel Pearson's Leicester City side were the visitors to Pride Park as Derby County hosted their first East Midlands derby of the new season. And this was a typical tight affair with little to separate the sides. That was until Jamie Vardy saw a sight of goal on 20 minutes, but his shot was well dealt with by Lee Grant. The Foxes had drawn a blank last weekend against Leeds, and another chance went begging here too when David Nugent couldn't quite force Chris Woods' centre over the line. The Rams were backed by the majority of the 23,000 fans inside Pride Park, and they were out their seats on 25 minutes when Craig Forsyth's run from full-back ended with a shot that Foxes keeper Kasper Schmeichel was forced to block. But 8 minutes before the interval, Leicester took the lead. Liam Moore's header from a corner and Vardy's flick created panic in the Rams' defence, and Paul Coots fired a shot into his own goalkeeper and into the back of their goal. Derby, though, pushed for an equaliser in the second half, with Richard Keogh going wide with a header, before Johnny Russell's centre was drilled goalwards by Kieran Freeman, only for Schmeichel to save well. Freeman was then the architect of Derby's next opportunity, eventually teeing up Coots, who saw his long-range effort blocked by Moore. But despite soaking up plenty of pressure, the visitors nearly doubled their lead when Richie Delat teed up Vardy, and despite good footwork, he saw his shot saved. Right at the end, a short free kick from Leicester saw Danny Drinkwater fire his shot just wide. So the bragging rights, at least for now, go to the Leicester fans. A tough defeat in the end, though, for Derby County.
Leicester welcomed Birmingham to the King Power Stadium looking for their 50th league win over the visitors. That looked unlikely after 12 minutes when Shane Ferguson's cross was turned home by Matt Green. Green top scored in the conference last season with 25 for Mansfield. This his first for Birmingham. Leicester had won one of the last 7 at home before kick-off. Chris Wood, who had a loan at St Andrews 2 seasons ago, saw this shot deflect the wrong side of the upright. Nigel Pearson's team were controlling the chances. David Nugent released Danny Drinkwater, who was unable to squeeze the ball beyond keeper Darren Randolph. Lloyd Dyer came on for Drinkwater at half-time. He turned provider for fellow sub Anthony Knockard, but Leicester's scoring radar wasn't working properly. Somewhat against the run of play, Neil Eardley tried to extend Birmingham's lead. Kasper Schmeichel had other ideas. It was a key save as Leicester showed more potency in front of goal than the visitors. Dyer was involved in the build-up, picking out Jamie Vardy. This time a deflection did go Leicester's way. Anyone who left early missed a stunning finale as the Foxes' fluent football was rewarded by a fine strike from Andy King. And 2-1 became 3-1 in the 93rd minute. Dyer combined with Jeffrey Schlupp, and Kyle Bartley conceded a penalty for which he received a yellow card. And David Nugent emphatically converted his second spot kick of the campaign. But that wasn't the end of the drama, because Chris Burr created and scored a fabulous left-footed goal. 3-2, and defeat means that Lee Clark's team have made their worst start to a season for 25 years. It was smiles all round as Chris Powell, who finished his career as a Leicester player, welcomed his counterpart Nigel Pearson to the Valley. Unbeaten, the Foxes were looking for their 6th win in 7. They had the first notable chance, but Liam Moore is still waiting for his first senior goal. Set pieces proved to be the Addicts' best weapon. Michael Morrison's first goal in 9 months gave them a half-time lead. After the break, former Fox Jan Kermagans brought keeper Kasper Schmeichel into play. After the rain stopped play last time out, Charlton was certainly having fun in the sun. Matty James was sent off for dissent following an off-the-ball and off-camera incident 7 minutes into the second half. The 10 men were 2 down after another set piece. Kermigan this time did get the better of Schmeichel, much to the frustration of the travelling fans. But they were cheering 3 minutes later. Jamie Vardy, the provider for Danny Drinkwater, who rolled in his second of the campaign. But Nigel Pearson's unbeaten record was withering away. They had Schmeichel to thank for keeping the scoreline down. His double save repelled Kermigan and Simon Church. And Leicester were reduced to long-range efforts to try and scramble a point. This daisy cutter from Ignacy Miquel, comfortably collected by Ben Hamer, as Charlton held on for their first championship win of the season.
Leicester manager Nigel Pearson served out his one-match touchline ban as the Foxes entertained Wigan, looking to bounce back from their first defeat of the season at Charlton last week. David Nugent hasn't scored for the Foxes from open play since last January. His low shot wasn't too far away from putting the home team ahead. Leicester's early pressure saw them take a 15th minute lead. Anthony Knockhart's corner met perfectly by Liam Moore as the Loughborough-born 20-year-old scored his first senior goal for his boyhood team. Wigan had beaten Forest last week for their first victory in 5 and did force keeper Kasper Schmeichel into a save just before half-time as Ben Watson's free kick wasn't cleared and Leon Barnett was denied by the keeper. This was only a third ever meeting between the sides and the Latics came out on top the last time the teams met in Leicester. Lloyd Dyer played a lovely ball through for Nugent, but Wigan keeper Scott Carson was quickly off his line. A second goal for the Foxes finally arrived 9 minutes from time and it came from a penalty after Jean Beausejour had clipped Jamie Vardy in the box. Nugent stepped up to score his third penalty in all competitions so far to put the game out of the visitors' reach. The margin of victory might have been greater as Leon Barnett almost headed into his own net in the final minutes. But Leicester took all 3 points to wrap up a 4th win in 5 in all competitions and keep themselves nicely placed just outside the top 3.